very good team. You know that they're the model program essentially. I know they're going to be amped up to play us and everything too. So it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, all right, come on, let's bring it. Like I said, they're just a really good team. I got a chance to watch them a little bit on film. They're impressive and everything. At some point, at this point in the season, when you talk about the Final Four, you got to play really good teams no matter what. So it's just so that's what it is.
Do you feel like nationally they're still the program that everybody thinks is the top program in the country?
Well, just because they got a lot of respect, they've done it for so long, and other programs are working to that, trying to be that, but they've definitely been the model since I've been, watching college football. So pretty much as long as I can.
How much does that make you play with a little bit of an edge? I know you guys have kind of shown that a little bit at times this year, but does it make you play with any particular edge, knowing that a win in this manner could possibly give you the edge over them and tell you something?
You're not really thinking about, just like you're not necessarily thinking that way. You just know, you're just gonna have trust in the process and how you prepare and everything like that. You just got to play well because they're a really good team. You can't afford to, have too many slip-ups, too many mess-ups, and that. You're just gonna have to be on point and just play well.
Any thoughts of how they've kind of been a standard bearer for the last decade? But here you guys are entering this thing, the #1 team, and they were the ones that were in question whether they would even get into it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that probably gives them a little bit more motivation to try to knock us off and things like that. And obviously, because the national championship last year, I'm sure they're really excited to play us. Gonna be ready for us and everything too. But I feel like if we prepare the way we know how, it's gonna could really go in our favor.
Do the media types like us really enjoy the storyline with it being kind of the rubber match against Alabama more than you guys, or does it really mean something for next year?
I think a little bit more the media folks like kind of look into it a little bit more, but I feel like because just the way you prepare for every game the same way. You're not really thinking of it as a, like I always say, the bigger the game is, the less you have to make of it. So, you really just approach it like it's any other game.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? You said that you grew up watching Alabama dominate college football. What's it been like now? You've got that opportunity to come take over. What was that transition like?
Well, yeah, like you said, just always, as long as I can remember, they've just been, the program. Everybody talks about Alabama, and everything like that. It's clear that we have a chance to, that we're a program working, to that. And we've been improving year after year after year, and having a lot of success. But it's something you don't really notice as much when you're in it. Maybe I'll look back on it when I'm done playing and be like, oh, maybe we kind of changed it. But it's not really something you think about when you're playing.
It's kind of cool to think that right now there's kids who are your age back in 08, 09 that are looking at Clemson the same way that people used to look at Alabama.
Right. It's definitely cool. But like I said, I don't really, you don't think about it as much when you're in it and when it's happening. But it's definitely something I could look at later and appreciate.
Last year's game was really physical. This year, you're probably going to have the same thing in the trenches. You guys are going to go at it pretty hard. How do you pace yourselves going into the next 2 games, possibly 2 games, knowing that you're going to face an Alabama team that's that physical?
You can't I just feel like guys just got to take care of their bodies. Now we got a month until we got to play a game pretty much, and it starts now. Just guys just doing as much as they can. Getting off their feet when they can, but working hard when it's time to work and things like that, and just preparing yourself for that. But also, it's time to grind, do your work, come to practice and all the different drills and everything. Just go as hard as you can, but definitely find a little more time to do things like getting the coach up, going to treatment. Just really try to take care of your body because, that definitely helps out in the long run.
Christian, how different, I didn't get that. How different is it this year compared to your freshman year, going to the college football playoff? What's it like for you now?
I definitely like, my freshman year, I feel like to me, obviously, because I was a freshman and everyone else, because no one has ever been in the college football playoff. But now this being my 3rd time, you really just know what to expect. I'm more vetted in that area and just know how to approach. Now this time off, my freshman year, I really didn't know what to do. It's like, okay, a whole month before we play another game, I don't know, I just would do whatever. But now I definitely know how to pace myself and just prepare mentally for that long stretch without playing the game, and how to prepare, just keep myself sharp and things like that, and really, practice is the only looks we're gonna get really, good on good, live on live until we play them. So, just gotta take practice really serious and set the tone, and have everybody else feed off that, things like that, and just really knowing like what I can and can't do with all this free time. Just I'm more vetted, so it comes a lot easier.
Teams across the country prepare for bowl games. How is this particular game and this scenario that you guys and the other 3 teams are in, how does that differ from the exhibition nature of the bowl game?
I feel like, well, just because for the reason for sure that when you're in a bowl game, it's your last game of the year. So this is just a little different because you can win that first game, but you're still not done. You still got to go play a game the next week and win that one as well. So that's really just I would say the biggest difference. Just being able mentally going in, knowing you got to give it your all, but then you still got another game after that too. So.
Along the same vein, I know it's all business, all preparing for this chance to win a national title, but how much do you guys enjoy the extra attention? It's like the bowl games used to kind of all be spread around. Now it's really all the national attention is focused on these Final Four teams left. How much do you guys kind of enjoy that aspect?
I mean, that's cool and everything, but I feel like, a lot of those other bowl games still just should get as much respect because, it's such a great accomplishment for teams to do what they do and go into a lot of bowl games that aren't necessarily the final, for the Final Four teams. Because it's not easy to win. So when a team could, accomplish something like that, get to a New Year's Six game or something like that, it's always real impressive, real cool. But like you said, the Final Four teams, whatever bowl games they're playing in, is always like the big thing. Everyone's looking forward to that. It's like the big story. So it's cool, but you gotta block out all that too because it can become a distraction with all the national spotlight. And, really try to just stay away from it mentally. Really.
Christian, if I had told you before you came here that you'd be playing in 3 straight college football playoffs, all against Alabama for a chance at the title, as high as your expectations were coming in, what would you have said to that?
Obviously you would hope for the chance to do that. That's the reason why I came here. I came here to compete at the highest level, win championships and play against the best teams. So that would have been obviously my hope to do that, but I didn't know that would actually happen. So I really wouldn't know what to say. It's just it's just my college experience so far, on the field for sure. It's just been everything I hoped it would be and more.
You were discussing a moment ago about 3 years ago when you came in for your first season and experienced this. What do you see in the new guys and what do you tell them as they experience this for the first time?
Well, really just, now just being one of the leaders on the team, just trying to, keep everybody, in a good place mentally. It's all about your mentality at this point. We put in a lot of work physically and everything, but, just so much time off and a lot of practices. We got 15 practices before we play the game. And just really making sure everyone, the vibe is good, just around the facility and practice and just, just making sure everybody, doing a good job of putting the work in when it's time to put the work in, but relaxing and getting away when they need to too. And just kind of, taking them through some of the things that I wish I did better, when I was a younger guy that, we put everybody in a better position.
Going back to Saturday night, what would you think would be your fondest memory from Saturday night?
I talked about it in the press conference after the game. Well, one was First Sergeant Frank Thomas. That was cool, America the Beautiful and everything. But then also just seeing, the young guys getting there later in the game too, and just enjoy it. And I just enjoy watching that because, I know everybody, just putting all the work everybody puts in. So, when you see that coming to fruition on game day and everything, everything you work for, it's just good to see, and just the excitement, and just the vibe, everybody's feeling everything. That's great to see.
Thoughts on going to New Orleans? Have you been before?
I've never been before. I'm pretty excited. I've heard a lot about New Orleans. I heard it's an interesting place. Can't wait to see what that's like. I watched Girls Trip this summer, so I kind of got a little look at it, but looking forward to this, eating, what do they call it, beignets or whatever. And just seeing what's up. I like traveling and things like that, so I want to see. It's always cool to see a different part of the country I've never been to. So.
Christian, how much did you pay attention to the coaching carousel that was going on and Coach Venables being in the mix? Did you pay attention to it?
I try not to pay attention to it, but you know, like just the world we live in. You know, you can't, you know, not everybody, people are always talking about it and things like that. But I personally didn't try to pay much attention to it. You know, that's just really weird.
Does he bring it up to you guys at all? Tell you to ignore it, or even tell you, hey, here's kind of what's going on?
I mean, well, he hasn't like told us as like really. Just there's been a lot going on, you know, because they're away right now, really awards and recruiting and everything like that. So it hasn't been much time for really him to talk to us, you know, as a defense or specifically people, specifically anything like that. So I haven't really had much time to do that.